everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tea Talk with Goodness Usman, your number one real estate talk show in Africa. And thanks to each and every one of you who keep showing up every time when we upload a new episode. Like I like to say, you, yes, you are the real MVP. And I'm delighted to be back with you all today. Yes, your special host, Goodness Usman. And I'm here with,
Emmanuel Ajayi, a property lawyer.
ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode on the Ask a Lawyer. In fact, episode 2 is what we have right here. So those of you who are enjoying the very first episode, you reach out, you place the phone call, you put your comments in the comment section, you put your question out there. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we need. That energy, please keep it high. Remember that it's a pro bono thing. So we need this man to be coming back on pro bono. Come on, Islam, what it bill? You get it. So please keep the comments going, keep the question coming in, and we promise you he will be here as long as we want him. I've promised him.
Very correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, if this is your very first time of coming across the show, and especially this segment on the show, which is Ask a Lawyer, then we want to say to you, welcome. We're delighted to have you join us right here. Now, this is what I want you to do. Put away all distraction, because right here, if you want to learn and unlearn, you do not need any form of distraction. So please, let's get right into the topic of the day. Acide hot. Acide hot. But before we get into it, let's perform our ritual. Now, if you're watching me and you don't know what the ritual is, because it is TikTok with Goodness Usman. It's a place where we have this different kind of conversation. Specifically, it's a lawyer teens conversation, but we're still gonna get comfortable in the process. This means that you need to grab yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a glass of wine, a glass of water, a glass of freshly squeezed juice, etc., etc. Whichever one works for you, so that you can relax and join in this what? Conversation. So we're gonna go right away into the ritual. Are you guys ready? Shall we?
We shall, yeah.
Second one.
Oh, yeah.
The very last one. That's the tradition.
Thank you.
Okay. They say tree does magic. Do you believe in it?
Yeah, I believe in only three.
Oh, not from that angle, but okay, that works as well.
It works too, it applies.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into the questions of the day, and we are going to be asking our able lawyer here, and we'll be providing us the answers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready? Are you well seated? In fact, I think you should be sharing this video right away to your friends and family, spouse, even if you have any, share it to them to bless their life. Because I promise you that you're going to get value from today's episode, and you're going to and be open-minded rather to learn and unlearn, just like I am open-minded as well. So, are you ready?
Very much ready.
Okay, so first of all, first on the list to ask you is, what are the relevant documents that investors should look out for at the time of acquiring a property?
Okay, basically, at the time of property acquisition, the paperwork or the document to look out for is first the receipt, and we move on from there to the contract of sale.
Okay.
Right. Also, very important, you must look out for the survey plan, maybe registered survey, record copy, or a provisional survey, as the case may be. From there, then you look out for the deed of assignment. That's the document, as to the title of the property. That's just like the
basic one.
Preliminary papers you will need to key into to be able to establish if it's a property you would continue or discontinue.
Okay. Thank you so much for taking us through that. I mean, as a realtor, I could take us people through that, but when hearing from a professional like you, it just stamps what I've been saying and what I know. So thank you for stamping. You feel delicious.
You're welcome.
Somebody asked me,
Okay.
goodness, did you bring a non-Yoruba to this show? What will happen? I said, the person is more understand Yoruba. I said, what? You don't get it.
My two last by first.
By first, Anyway, so that brings us to the second question. You mentioned receipt as the first thing. So that means that is the first document during this particular acquisition. So can you tell us how important a receipt? In some cases, some people issue invoices. So I'll put it together. How important is a receipt and invoice?
Okay, both are synonymous and are related. So let's just say, okay, a receipt. A receipt will stand as a legal evidence to say that the buyer pays to the seller the amount agreed. So a receipt will stand as an acknowledgement of the payment that the buyer is going to procure the property. The payment is made to the seller. And this is the seller saying, oh, I collected 10 million naira instead of this property. So that is a valid document that should be in for the buyer to get at the time of starting the property acquisition.
Thank you for putting that out and explaining to us on a legal term, because the truth is some people just mishandle receipts. They collect their receipt and just probably throw it somewhere else. Or anyhow, they don't document it. So what you're saying is that the moment you acquire a property and a receipt is issued, you should document and keep it properly.
Yeah, because we've had several cases where failure to provide a receipt. If you are dealing with a fraudulent developer, property owner, or they tell you they never collected it. Prove it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So a receipt is very, very vital in property transaction. To first establish that the person selling to you admits that, okay, I collected this sum of money from this person in respect of this property. So that goes a long way to clear a whole lot of unforeseen issues.
You're very
It's very vital.
Keep your receipts.
Very vital.
You pay for a property, you don't have the receipt. Ignorance.
They say ignorance of the law is not an excuse. And it will not even bail you out for anything.
Do you guys hear it? Hear it directly from the lawyer.
Right.
Ignorance is not an excuse.
An excuse.
And I collect my receipt. What I now pour on it? My baby now. No. What's the law? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So question number 2. You mentioned contract of sale. So tell us, is contract of sale an important document? I know you say it's important, but how important is it? Because I feel like some people have the notion that it's another glorified receipt. Just clear that.
Oh well, it's quite different. They are entirely different from receipts. Like I mentioned earlier, receipt only acknowledge that buyer pays seller so amount, and seller acknowledge that I received this so amount. Different from contract of sale, which is one of the preliminary documents in property acquisition. It establishes the relationship, the obligations between the buyer. Okay, in this time now we say between the vendor and the purchaser. Okay, some instances the buyer or the seller, the developer, the owner of the property is going to provide this, is going to provide that. So these contract of sale is the paperwork that you identify all of these things that seller is going to provide to the buyer, agree on terms, obligations that they owe each other. They establish everything that is going to bind both of them. So it's quite different from just the receipt that is acknowledging that I send you this money and you saying you send this money. This is establishing a relationship, establishing obligations. That you, the seller, you need to do this. You said you are going to do this, and in respect of that, I am going to do this in return. So that is quite different. So in other words, now we can say contract of sale, transfers the equitable interest in a property
Okay.
transaction,
Okay.
which is very different than total like that I pay you so far.
And then you receive. Oh, okay. Thank you so much for clearing it out. And then from a legal standard,
Perspective.
yes, it makes a whole lot of sense. 'Cause if I'm going to explain that as a realtor, I'm sure I won't be able using those terminologies that you just used. Okay, so now I want to ask you, if a contract of sale is that important, can it be transferred?
Okay, in as much as parade itself to be very necessary,
It says parade. Okay.
yeah, to be a very necessary document. However, it is not a legal document to transfer ownership or a legal interest in the property
Okay.
to the buyer, the new person. No,
Mm,
you understand?
yes.
There's a limit to what a contract. You cannot say, okay, I own this property, and when they ask you what are the documents or paperwork you have available on the property, you say you have a contract. No, because contract of sale is not sufficient to transfer the legal interest of your seller, the owner of the property,
Mm,
to you.
mm,
You understand what I'm saying?
mhm,
So it is not sufficient. It's just a different paperwork entirely,
mm.
different from that. Yeah.
Thank you for clearing that. That is actually a question for someone. And when I saw it, I was just like, okay, let him answer it. So thank you for clarifying that. Now you have heard that from the lawyer, not from goodness, right? Honestly, it's not down and right. And that's the end of story. Okay, so you know that in contracts, generally, contract of sale specifically, you guys have a lot of clauses. So let's talk about these clauses.
Okay.
Can you highlight some hidden clauses that some, not every, don't go into too many details because contracts varies, right? So you
Mhm.
won't be able, but is there common clauses, just peripheral clauses that you can highlight for investors to watch out for in a contract?
Okay. Generally, what I would advise is for any investors who is bringing their hard-earned money into a property acquisition or property transaction, I believe they should get the service of a professional, a lawyer who is behind the property transaction to look out for all of these things for them. They cannot be very, very, professional or expert in that lane to be able to understand what a clause means. Because I'm not going to point out specifically that a specific clause means so or this must be available. No, every clause matters when it comes to like a contract, such as contract of sale. You understand? So every clause matters, and interpretation of these clauses can only be understood by a legal practitioner who is into the day-to-day activities of a property transaction. You understand? So my advice would be, you looking at preparing a property or property, acquiring any property, get the service of a lawyer who understand how these paperwork have been drafted, what they mean, and what exactly you need to look out for, if not
To
present,
protect.
to add, to protect all of the interests of the person.
Nice. Oh, thank you so much for clearing that. And honestly, this is me asking you this question directly, and because I know in the past, from past experiences, is why I'm asking this question. Now there is a second part to this question, which also reiterates what we talked about in the first episode, that you can't overemphasize the importance of hiring a legal practitioner when it comes to these transactions. So, would you say, or so yes, there's an argument, right,
Okay.
that it is the job of a realtor to read a contract of sale and advise the client what to do regarding these clauses we just talked about. What do you think? Are you for or against?
Well, professionally, I would say, in the industry, the real estate industry, there is a vision of labor.
Okay.
The role, the responsibility, the duty, the obligations of the realtor is different from the law,
Okay.
because the scope and the light of our experience is quite different.
Okay.
So this is much of a lawyer work,
Than the realtor's work.
because a realtor will be more of scouting for the best investment rather, property for this.
Ensuring that
And making sure that it is a secured one, is safe, risk free. But having to, get to the rudiments
of a contract.
Yeah, the gritty of that, then that is what a lawyer would look into.
So that's more of a function of a lawyer,
yeah, a
professional lawyer than a realtor. Now, why did I bring this up? Like I said, within the industry, there's always this debate, oh, a lawyer is supposed to do that, or the clients come and say, oh, you're my realtor, you're supposed to do that. So as much as I am a realtor, I'm still not a lawyer. Even if I have an idea about certain things about law and all of that, the way you're going to interpret it is different from the way I'm going to interpret it. Right. Especially these clauses.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get it? So thank you for, kind of buttressing this point and making it clear. So as much as you buy a property with me and I say, oh, your contract has been signed, what I'm going to be looking at in the contract of sale as a realtor is to ensure that if we got a deal, maybe we bought a property and we got a deal for you to pay for 12 months without interest. That's what I'm going to be checking out. Oh, does the contract capture the deal that we discussed in terms of the amount, in terms of the duration of payment, basically, right? And then the other fees. Is there a discount on the other fee? Ensuring that the discount or whatever amount and fee is captured. But when it comes to hidden, clauses of
interest,
exactly, the obligation of the purchaser, the obligation of the seller, a vendor, I won't be able to clearly advise that.
It's for the lawyer to establish that and also define it to make sure it is in the best interest of you coming to put in your order.
Thank you. Thank you for clearing that. Now, the extension to that is, in the circle where I work, because the real estate is different circle kind of. We have how, of course, it's the purchaser the vendor who always draft in this contract. And I always say, let your lawyer read this contract and before you sign. Do you understand? But then people just go ahead and just sign. A lot of the time they go ahead.
In that, yeah. So, ideally, what I recommend or advise people, you are the one bringing in money. You have the interest. Yeah. So if there should be anybody preparing any document.
They don't prepare it in our no, it's their own matter.
Okay,
where I'm going here, they'll be like, goodness, so this is the norm. Where I'm going is they're signing without reading. What's the consequences? That's what I'm going. Do you get it now?
Okay.
Do you get it now?
I understand what you're going to I'm not good at
it. Next person will say, it's my lawyer though, and these companies will not agree. But we can address it actually. Now, we have cases of people just going flipping through the contract, and maybe because of pressure or because of time or whatever it is, they just go ahead and append their signature. Now, in this case, what is the situation? I've gone ahead now. The contract has been prepared, right?
Okay.
I have gone ahead. I didn't give it to a professional lawyer, and I've signed. What happens?
Okay, in this scenario now, there's a principle of law.
Okay.
Which is duty to read.
Okay.
And what duty to read is all about is an individual that has signed a document is bound by every clause, is bound by every provision of that document, irrespective of the fact that you read the document to your own satisfaction or you understood every step down the line. Yeah, although there are exceptions, when it comes to law, to every general rule, mostly there are always exceptions.
Okay.
But then this principle generally guides that once you sign a document, in other words, it is believed that you already understood everything there before you attest your signature. So for any document, either you read, you understood, so far you sign it, you are bound by it. Only when exceptions, one of the exceptions is where there is a clear fraud. Obviously we can reasonable man test here. You call a layman to say, okay, please read this thing. The person can read this and say, no, this is not right. This is a fraud. That is where there's a clear fraud. That is an exception to that. But generally, once you sign a contract,
Wow.
you are bound by.
Right.
That you understand or you understand English and you only understand your band, they wrote it in English, doesn't exonerate you. So far, they
Wow.
gave you a document,
And
you
it's signed.
signed.
And it's proven.
Whatever the person is believing is, you've read everything, agreed. That is why you sign. So you are bound by whatever you sign, right? So that is just so. For let's say you are going into any property acquisition, and you are being served a contract of sale. The right thing to do is you cannot just understand all of these clauses. It is not your feet. You don't even know what the trending or the present reality is in that same industry.
I like the word trending.
Yeah, you need a professional who engage with with them, with the industry, with the activities day to day, to be able to guide you through that. Oh, this will not sit with you eventually because of this and that, because of X, Y, Z. Sir. So you need a professional to go through this before you revert back to whoever is sending you that document or signing it.
Thank you so much for clearing that. And honestly, I feel like some people watching us right now are sitting on this table. They don't engage a lawyer to read these contracts. In fact, let's even leave the part of a lawyer reading. Sometimes they don't even read it. They just sign it last week. It's always the last week. Just go to the last week and just sign it. And then afterwards, when something down the line, the transaction, something happened, maybe there's a default, and there's you now come back and say, I was not told. Page blah blah blah, item number it's written there. Didn't you read? They'll be like, even if and then you're saying now that even at that they are binding by that. So everything that contract says is binding on them. They must.
Right.
Wow.
So if you sign it is you telling the person who sent it to you that I understand everything and I did. So now coming later to say, I didn't know you this was this mean. That is your own cup of coffee, tea. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. When you get going work tea at that point, they can't take tea at that point.
Oh, maybe coffee to get more energy.
So honestly, I need to reiterate this. It is not an excuse. Please read through, even if you're not engaging the services of your lawyer yet. Even read, because the terms and conditions inside the contract of it, you don't even read. And it's funny how even if I as a realtor read it to you, I still need you. So read and digest it and understand it. And then of course engage the services of your lawyer. Now I'm going to ask you this question in wrapping this up. And I know that this question, let me just ask it. So in our circle, or let me say first, the first extension to it, the first material, who is supposed to prepare a contract to service? Usually under the law.
Well, ideally, the person who is bringing their hard-earned money to commit to a property, I believe, is the person with the interest to be protected. So, if there will be any document that will protect any interest, it should be coming from the buyer, because that's the person whose interest is at stake. So any preparation of document, contract, or deed should come from the person buying. Then you serve the other party to vent. Okay, what I have listed here doesn't go well with you. Oh, clause 2B, doesn't go well. We address it, right? But ideally, it should come from the person bringing in money to buy, not from who is selling. But that does not protect the interest of the person.
Okay.
Ideally.
Okay, so I like the way you're using ideally, because that's what the practice right here.
Right.
For the circle that I belong to, is the companies, because I do more of corporate real estate. Right. I don't like the Omonile one-on-one property. I don't have an issue for that. So I do corporate, So meaning I have developers who sell properties, and then they are the ones who prepare the contract of sale. Which is why I always say, read it very, very well. Don't just read. Ask your lawyer to read.
I was going to pinpoint on that. Reading it alone is not sufficient, because of course you don't have the the knowledge, the background knowledge. Even some, you may just even read some that may be ambiguous to you. You may not exactly understand what that term is saying. You need someone who is into the drafting. I can tell you, oh, this will not go well with you. In the nearest something, this can happen, this can, you need someone who is a professional that's into it to be able to go through it and point out clauses you need to address with the person before signing. You get so.
Thank you for clearing that out. And these days there, like we said in the last episode, Google is too much our friend. You know how they say police is your friend, police is actually not your friend.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Google is our friend. Sharp people is our friend with limitation.
Okay, thank you. I like that limitation. Because at the end of the day, I can ask Google of the clauses and Google tell me the meaning of the clauses. Will that not suffice?
Oh man, I'm not sure that will. That will not.
It will not. I should still engage.
To play safe, no.
But is it not English? It's not English that is written there.
It is then.
And so how come it's so ambiguous that I cannot understand? Well, let's cool down. What can we?
Well, you will not understand this better until you run into one problem and you understand
Kuti will not carry us.
You understand? Right.
So honestly, we can't overemphasize the importance of you ensuring that the lawyer fulfilling your contract of sale, and if there are clauses that does not protect your interest, will come back. And let me just say this now: as much as it is this real estate developers that prepare the contract of sale, I tell you, if you have a clause that your lawyer had gone through and they don't like it, that is why they say you should read before signing. They will send you a draft. It's a draft actually, it's not binding yet.
At that moment.
At that moment, it's not binding yet. If they send you a draft and your legal person, goes through it and say no clause, you will come back with your clause as well. And then you guys will go back and forth until you agree. Okay. And that's when they append their signature, and then you also append. I just need to say that because a lot of people are not even aware that is the way it's done. They just feel like once they send me something, I have to. No, you do not have to. In fact, like you said, under the law, you are not obligated to even sign it because it's not even prepared. And there's more reason why you should watch it. I know you said there are other documents, the survey, the deed assignment. So let's just brush through them and then wrap this up because we know that we're taking too much time and I don't want it to be too long anyway.
Well, when it comes to real estate in a transaction, I believe even the developer or the owner of the property is selling to you. We bend their rules once they understand that you have proven a point. In the light of my own experience in the real estate industry or in the transactions here, I have dealt with a same property, different units. That the contract of sale that the developer prepared for A is different from B.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because A said, I will not go down the line with you with this. I need you to adjust it to suit my own, wants, and for the interest of both parties, the developer needs to adjust. So A signed a different contract, of which B at the time is going to come on board. Look at it and say, okay, this is fine with me. He signed the same contract, but different clause on the same unit of properties. You understand what I'm saying? So it's about how you feel or how your lawyer feels to the best of your own interest. You understand? So
again, this is reiterating the importance of engaging the services of a legal practitioner, property lawyer. That's what I like to call it.
Yeah.
Property lawyer.
Most important.
Abego. Kuti will not bow wow, because you can't go and be carrying somebody that does litigation, and go to court and then come and talk about. It's not like they don't know the law. Like he educated me that every lawyer knows a bit of every industry. But I mean, someone who is in oil and gas, for instance, maybe if they've been in oil and gas for over a decade and a half, you're bringing the person into property acquisition. It's two different worlds.
Obviously, they will do better in the upstream, downstream transaction than you having to say transfer of ownership and all of that.
So pretty clauses can be there.
In between, when buyers are not being careful, they can approach each other.
So. Oh my god. Okay. I know that some of you are wondering when this goodness, when will she be ever be serious? But talking serious matter, don't worry, very soon. I'm learning. Maybe this new decade that I'm gonna be far more serious. So thank you so much for watching this up to this point. Thank you for your time. Now that I want us to wrap up this, I know we're supposed to touch on deed of assignment. But I feel like this moment is a conversation on its own. You
Yeah.
agree, or you want us to touch it?
Oh yeah, it's still it's very big, concept that at least we need to really break it down so people can understand every bit of it.
Yeah. So, because like you said, that's the document that is transferable.
Yeah, that's documents that can transfer ownership, legal interest. You understand?
So,
Land of property.
the deed of gift, yeah.
It's also a deed.
Mhm.
You understand? Deed of gift, deed of assignment, deed of conveyance, deed of anything. It's a deed.
So we have to treat it differently.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that they have different like
Yeah.
that. Okay, I've heard of deed of conveyance, and it seems a term that well. So we're going to treat that in a different episode. Just so you're wondering, oh, he listed this. Why are you not talking about it? Don't worry, we're going to pick it up on that other episode. That is why I need you guys to comment. What did you think? Thank him first. Hey, John, to your long. We will not end that this tomorrow. How will you
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know about the kuti? What if you know about the way in the comment section, let's know ourselves. Anyways, thank you so much. We're going to deal with deed of assignment, just like we talked about the will thing, and I think it comes about estate of something. Anyway,
Estate administration.
okay, so see, just get ready. This 2025, we're gonna bombard you with a whole lot of value
Back to back.
back to back. So what you need to do is subscribe. Be subscribed to this YouTube channel. Turn on your notification button so that you'll be among the very first people that is notified when we upload new episode on this show. We air it every Sunday 4 p.m. So if you don't subscribe, you're gonna be missing no. And this is going to help you save a whole lot of money. Pro bono, free of charge, free education is what you're getting. And that is why I want you to be subscribed to this channel and then share this video. Don't be selfish. Go ahead.
And most importantly, they should ask questions. So whatever we are giving out is tailored for something they need to know.
Thank you. You've heard him. Put in your questions here. I know some of you say, oh goodness, I want to talk to you by WhatsApp. Bring it. Once you send it to WhatsApp, I forward it to him as well. If you see our conversation too, it's questions and answer, questions and answer. No, this cannot go like that. You know why you're dealing with lawyers, eh? Yeah. Pity will not buy.
And it seems to be meticulous.
Very. The highs and the teas must be there.
Everything.
I'm learning though. I'm in the school.
Yeah,
So,
everything.
so please put in your question in the comment section. We would appreciate put in your question so that we can treat, like you said, tailored to you. Thank you once again for doing this with us. We're so excited to have you here. We're so happy that you give us your time. Thank you on behalf of everyone watching as well. I'm saying thank you to you. So guys, we're gonna be seeing you in the next episode. Maybe that question you have in mind has been bugging you for a while. Maybe it's what we're going to be treating in the next episode. But if you don't send it in, how are you going to what? How are you going to be treating it?
Because what? The devil himself
you hear it. We cannot know what is going on. So you pour it out here, we're gonna now know, oh, this is where, it brings me to the Yoruba proverb. So play ẹni tí ọwọ́ bá ń dùn, òun ti ọwọ́ yẹn bọ̀ ọ́nú aṣọ. No Yoruba, sorry. I'm very sorry. It's just like before. I'm very sorry. I need to be learning how to say some of this, especially in Igbo. You know how you say those Igbo proverbs. I mean, you know how to say it.
Well, no, not really, but I'm subject to learning.
We need any more person to come here. Anyways, you guys get the drift. Thank you so much. My name, of course, remains Goodness Usman. I am your beautiful host and the queen of Land Maker, and I'm here with our able, amazing, talented, soft-spoken lawyer,
Manuel Ajayi.
Ajayi.
Ajayi, yeah.
Why did they put that extra in Ajayi's name?
I don't know.
What's that extra?
Yeah, I think that comes by default.
So what's the difference?
I don't know.
Say it now.
Maybe when I see my grandpa, I'm gonna ask.
No, there's Ajayi something come and say it.
Ajayi Ogidi Olori.
We have to say it. Oh, yeah. Is that an Oriki or it just comes with the Ajayi?
I don't know really, but then when you mention of Ajayi, all of it
we just follow.
Mm.
Are you an Ajayi? Is it just by default? Or is an Oriki? You know how Ibejis have Oriki? Is it that is an Oriki for Ige? You know the way the Iges have Oriki?
Yeah.
Is there an Oriki for Ajayi? Please
Mhm.
educate us out there.
Yeah.
We would also want to know, just in case you know more about it. Because I just know that once they call Ajayi or Gigi,
All of those things.
you know, they only one mama.
I'm sorry.
Oh, got you. All right. We would love to do more of this with you guys, but we just really have to go because we're more now. Rest on time. It's been a delight doing this with you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. I'm wishing you, or we are wishing you, the best of the best of the best week. We pray that God will usher your steps. We pray that everything you lay hands on will prosper. More money in your pocket to come and be buying property. And don't forget, you need a lawyer. And guess what? He is always at your service. So if you want to engage the services of him, trust me, just reach out to me and bam, you are access to him. He will guide you through it all. And guess what? He's also very vast, not just in the Lagos market, also in an Abuja market. In the next episode, we are going to dive into the Abuja market and tell you how you are going to practice in Abuja before you know what, before coming back to Lagos. So he's not a lawyer that you say, the property is in Gwagwalada in Abuja. Don't worry, he got you covered. He's also an Abuja what? Abuja person. So it's not what I'm saying in essence that you're not limited to Lagos only. So don't say, oh, it's just Lagos. So far you're in Nigeria, then the sun across the shore, no.
Yeah, we've been able to broker property in African countries. So even Dubai, yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. And this is a wrap. I'll see you guys in the next episode. And also, we're going to be in the comment section reading your comments. Please ensure that wherever you're watching us from, you, yes, you remain safe and awesome just the way you are. And I say to you, oh.